6:42 in the morning. We're going on a walleye charter today out on Lake Erie. Have to be at the ramp in 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. We have an 1.5-hour drive. I feel like crying, it's so early, but we were up this early 2 weekends in a row for the Allegheny. Now we're up for this. That was just pee, no poop. All the hardcore guys go early. Puff puff early, dad best. Tackle warehouse, so it's just before 5 a.m. Best part about today is my entire tackle bag now doubles as a cooler. We were instructed not to bring any gear. America's in a tough place right now. Just be nice to people and do what you can. I don't want to get into it more than that. So we're heading out to the Western Basin, not too far from where we normally go to good old Marblehead on the swag craft. So it's just before 5. We're adding a new cast member today, Naveen, aka Dr. Naveen. We fished together a few times in the fall, but I do not believe you have seen those edits. But we had fished together a few times. Just happened to meet at a fishing spot, struck up a conversation, and started fishing together. I think 4 or 5 times, but he was kind enough to invite us out. Uncle Canada declined the invite. We were supposed to go out for smallmouth about 3 weeks ago. The lake was very turbulent. We had a lot of rain and wind. So when it's 1 to 3s and 3 to 5s, non-stop chop, the captain called off the mission a couple times. Now that the weather's been cooler for the last 8-9 days, today's gonna be a beautiful day out there, about 72 to 75. A couple mile-per-hour winds, south-southeast. And right now is the walleye migration, so.
We're limited out in like so soon.
There you go.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, I brought here.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
man.
Huh? And then
All right, puff puff, we're out here. What time is it, 6:30?
6:30 this morning, yeah.
So we're about to, it's Steve, right? Steve, Uncle Naveen. So I'll film more when we're on the water.
Yeah, I think yes.
It's beautiful out, about 65. I personally haven't been on a charter in 10 years. So it's exactly 7 in the morning. About to be out on the open lake, and people have been limiting out real quick all season, and last season best walleye seasons that they've ever had. So it's interesting showing up with no gear, showing up to go on someone else's craft, and everything's all good. So definitely something a little bit different for me, but thank you to Naveen, his buddy Steve, and then Captain Pete. So you guys excited? Hey. Puff puff back. Super clear, super frothy. Yeah, that's crazy.
you got a comp yet?
It's hard to see because we're not out there, but there's hundreds of bugs of walleye.
Yeah, we're still catching.
I might need a picture of this.
Oh, fair enough.
Puff puff walleye.
Puff puff walleye. I like that too. Yeah, I got a few good photos. You can
Good.
It'll probably taste really good.
Oh yeah.
Only 23 more to go, huh? Congrats. There you go.
Going there as long as. Okay, all right. This
Nice.
is the first real keeper.
On board.
On board.
There you go. He's bigger than the other one.
Yeah. All right, buddy. You are on next.
He's a good eater.
Oh yeah.
Perfect eater. What's that?
It hit me like very shallow.
Right. No, I saw your
Maybe
rod,
like
man.
10 feet, 10, 15 feet at the max.
Stoked?
Faster there? No, slow retrieve. I'm with the.
Oh, he's the biggest one of the day, huh? There we go. Well, we're catching him, that's for sure.
Off to a good start.
Yes, sir. Oh, with the caster, too.
Yeah. Great catch.
Got some wake out here. Captain Pete knows his
No
stuff.
more reeling. Lift the rod up. Lift. Up.
There you go.
Lift, left. I was taking it to the left.
So it's checking in just about 8 a.m. It's going to be a little harder to film today constantly because of the wake and the nature of the swell out here. But what have you been out about an hour, right? Maybe a little less?
Yeah.
Not even? Fishing maybe a half hour?
Less, yeah.
Right, so we got 4 keepers. Limit is 6 per man, over 15 inches. So I'm not an expert in this field personally, but I feel like that's a pretty good start. So it's definitely choppy out here. No wind, just swell. So Lake Erie, Western Basin.
Rock fell out of the holder. Rock fell out of the holder. What happened? Rock fell out of the holder.
There you go. Oh, it's a good one. That's the biggest of the day. Hell yeah.
Fight hard at all.
Is that the biggest of the day?
Yeah. Almost.
Looks like it. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
For another encore, of which we've got one in just a little while.
You gotta name him. What's his name?
Eastern as
Mika.
Very good. So it's about 9 a.m. Been out here about 2 hours. How many have we boated? 4, 5?
I had only one. Voted 4.
Boated 4. So we got 4 keepers in the cooler. A lot of boats out here. A lot of boats. Might slow down a bit. We got time. We've thrown a couple back too, right? Right. Guys, we're still out here. It's beautiful out. It's 9 a.m. Well, it's a fish. Big drum. Trash fish. I gotta try it. Oh shit. A little tough. Nice conditions though. Can't really beat it either way. It's hard to film the constant wake. Plus we're not trolling, we're actually fishing, which is how I would prefer it personally. So a little harder to film, but hopefully when I snag another, I'll throw the camera to one of the homies and they will get it. If not, we're doing our thing, so.
Okay.
Well, Levine's got one. It's the first fish in like what, 2 hours?
Almost.
How deep did you go? How many count?
Like 10 count maybe.
10? Okay.
What is it?
Oh, it's a nice one. Keeper for sure. There you go. Hell yeah, break the
Finally.
skunk.
Off the skunk. Wow.
Praise the Lord. It's a good fight. Oh, it's a huge one. Nice fish.
Oh yeah.
It's a great fish. Amazing.
Really good fight.
That's the biggest of the day, huh?
Yeah. Good.
You want to hug the captain in the photo?
I think we'll hold off for now. Once we get all our limits, we'll have a big hug party.
There we go.
Woo. Same thing, man. Like 5 to 8.
Yeah, that's 2 beasts back to back. Alright, I gotta get one. At least I got to net him. Hell yeah. I'll take that.
There you go.
Affected by cancer in some way.
Big drum, yeah.
Today,
He's
for
darting
all
around like a
survivors
mofo.
on the other side and those currently struggling. This
Oh, he's
National
foul hooked
Cancer
too, huh?
Survivors Day
Right in the belly.
is a good fight, okay?
Oh, no, he's not.
And for those of you who are free and clear,
It's a first
remission and all
fish in
that,
respective
we
body.
continue.
It's just a trash fish. Alright, well, we're done.
Yeah.
That's a 4-man limit right there. 24 quality walleye, Lake Erie. Swag.
He's gonna come through.
Captain's Eye here. It's about a week and a half later. So I just finished editing up the video, the footage that I have of the walleye charter. So you've seen the whole edit. I think it's about 8 or 9 minutes long. We went out with the captain. Not going to say his name or shout out his business because we don't want to ruin him over here or dissuade people from going to him specifically. But the title of this video will not be clickbait in the essence of he did ruin that charter. The charter cost about $1,200. There was more people that were supposed to be coming, but he did still charge us the full rate. The guy was just an asshole of the highest magnitude. Even starting off when we got to the ramp, we were only about 5 minutes late. There's about 75,000 marinas in about a square mile. Even with the address that he gave us, you know, it took us about 5 extra minutes to figure out where we were going. He was a douchebag. Short on the phone, telling us that we're late when we arrived. We know we're 5 minutes late. Our clocks tell us what time it is. Didn't really want to answer many questions as we hit the water. I have never personally been on a walleye charter before. I've been on a few different charters when I was down in Florida, and then a different Lake Erie charter 15 years ago. I think it was for perch, I want to say. I'm very hesitant to answer any questions. Naveen and myself, I don't know about the other guy, I'll get to him in a minute. I wouldn't say we're experts, we're no Kevin Van Dam, but we fish multiple days a week, you know, days out of the month when you add up the hours. So we know what we're doing. We don't go walleye fishing on the main lake like we were that day. That's not our repertoire, but we know how to go fishing. So on top of him being an asshole, treating us like we're stupid, treating us like we're pains in the ass, it's different techniques. He was using different lures than I've personally used before with a different rig. So I'm going to ask so I can learn how to use it properly and efficiently. When you're very short and scofffish, act like I'm getting in your way. It's just not going to look well or sit well with people that are paying you to take them fishing. Walleye do have teeth. When you're using cheap rods, which I understand because it's a charter, people lose rods, things happen, things break. So he had a certain rig and he had the tackle. I'm assuming he orders them in bulk. And as they break or the spoons get bent or you lose a hook, obviously we need new ones. Asking him to give us new ones, which he had stored down in the hull of his boat, in the storage locker for all of his gear. You know, sometimes we'd have to wait 15, 20 minutes just for him to get us a new bait so we could actually continue to fish. Just a real asshole. Talking down to us. That other guy that was with us, I think his name was Steve or something. I don't really care if he sees this video. I don't care what his deal is. I'm never going fishing with him again. He showed up, I believe, under the influence at 6 in the morning of something. Nose running and all over the place, like he hadn't slept. Typical Patagonia. I'm going to wear a Patagonia fishing hat, like a marmot, $200 scientific athletic fishing shirt with, you know, compression shorts, and just one of those guys. Acted like he knew everything he was doing. He was just getting in everybody's way. Couldn't even cast without interfering with somebody else casting off the side of the boat. This boat is meant to fish up to 12 people. And if you're getting in the way of one person in each corner and you're the third, almost near the bow. Not to mention, I didn't catch it on video. I was literally picking up my phone to film, and I turn around and this dude is overboard. Yeah, dude fell overboard. So on the bow of a big charter boat, there's just a little railing. So when you're walking up on it, the raised bow deck, you know, it's about ankle, maybe calf high. This dude cast up, got his weight wrapped around the, I don't know what you want to call it, the crown handle. Climb up on all fours instead of standing up and using the grab bars to get up onto the bow, and falls fucking overboard. That is what set the tone for the entire rest of the day, because I started screaming, "Man overboard, help." Captain runs down. "What the fuck are you guys doing? You idiots, what are you doing? You don't go up there, this is my boat." He's like, "I was just trying to get my thing out." The captain he just treated us like we were a burden also. Very short-tempered, did not want to explain or teach us anything. And I totally understand this. He was fishing off the bow while we were fishing because he's out there all day, and if we don't need him for a period of time or we're just doing our thing, fish. I would fish if I was him too. But when he had to stop fishing to help us or to move or to anything, slamming his rod down, he'd get a drum. We'd catch a lot of drum fish in there, throwing them on the deck and then walking down and taking the hooks out of them. Even though we're keeping the walleye, not treating the fish with any respect, pulling the walleye, pull it out of the net, and just drop it right into the boat. literally. And sometimes he would just chuck them and then get down and then take the hook out. Just no respect. The guy was just a complete and utter asshole. I could sit here and tell more stories. I could sit here and tell you that I had fun catching those fish on such a beautiful day, and I did. That other Chad, he's an idiot too. The dude was just a goober idiot, and he set the tone, got in the way, cracking beers at 6 o'clock in the morning. As soon as Naveen and I got back in the car, we both looked at each other, and we pretty much agreed the same thing. Guy didn't like us. We'll never be going back to him. Never going to recommend anybody to him. I'm not going to tell you the name. I'm not going to tell you the place. Not going to tell you, there's 2,000 charters on the western basin of Lake Erie for every species that you'll go out there and catch. So good luck finding him. If you see the sign or whatever I posted, feel free. Just don't go to that guy. Literally ruined a day of fishing, this guy. I had fun catching fish. The weather was great. Took home like 9 pounds of walleye. But that captain was a fucking asshole. That other Chad, too, he set the tone by falling overboard, and then he doesn't know how to use a rod holder, so he just put it in sideways. You saw the clip. So he lost a rod in the first 15 minutes of us. We hadn't even taken a cast yet, and he's losing rods because he wants to sit there and inspect it as we're trolling or as we're getting out to the spot. I don't know. I appreciate being invited to the charter. Naveen and I had a great time. He's a good guy. We fish a lot together now. We've only been friends for a little less than a year, but definitely just rubbed me wrong. I hope you don't think the title's clickbait. Even if you know how to fish, or you're an expert, or you have never fished in your entire life, whatever the situation may be, if you're paying somebody for a service, especially to take you out fishing, you hope they put you on fish, which he did. We limited out. Took longer than we thought it might based on the conditions, but we got our 6-hour charter and we limited out. But you're supposed to treat them with respect, help them, show them the ropes. Like I said, I know how to fish. I know how to catch a fish. I know how to reel in a fish. I wasn't familiar with that rig. I wasn't familiar with the technique of fishing 30 foot of water and the drop counts of how deep they are when we're marking them, all that jazz. Which made us feel like a burden. I don't know. Bottom line, end of the day, I hope you don't think it's clickbaity. It's a good edit. We caught fish, beautiful day, but I was not going to just post that and not let you guys know that you could see the looks on my faces those last few clips. I was not a happy camper, but we had fun. Treat everybody with respect, and you won't have any problems. That guy has no respect, and do not go to him. Puff, puff, out. Sorry for ranting, but I felt like I had to.